Greetings, good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the freaking internet. 'Tis I, the fatwikingknight, is always coming to you from our hardcore atonemless world. And today we're just working on building a little bit of a scaffolding here where we are going to eventually make this into a magnificent mountain of some volition. This should be pretty cool. And I realized I kind of fucked up. We may have to actually tear this thing down because I kind of forgot the golden rule with building mountains. Yes, I could probably still make this work and just connect a bunch of things to it and add things to it and make it work. I could probably do that, no problem. But in seeing just how it kind of laid out, I do feel a little bit as if we have messed up here. Because if you want to make a mountain, right, what you do is you start with making the downstairs mix-up, as we're going to call it, in homage to freaking old Greg. Yeah, an homage to old Greg. You just do the downstairs mix-up. You do that first, and then what you need to do is pick points along that line, and you need to go up and diagonal and make a shape that curves with it. This one, in my opinion, it's going to be very, very difficult to have it curve because of how we have it. So I kind of want to change that significantly and actually go up and diagonal with it. It is a lot of stone that we would have to tear down, but I think it's probably in our best interest that we go ahead and just knock that out. If we don't, I feel it's going to be a hindrance on the rest of the builds that we've got going. Since this entire area is pretty much going to be encased by mountains, I think this one will look very, very odd if we don't do such things. But we are going to, it's going to be a lot of issues to make it that way, I think. And we're going to have to do it reverse from how we did the other one, which I don't know if I've shown on camera or not yet. We're going to have to do it reverse, completely reverse. And that's going to be hard for my brain to work, I think. Because it just doesn't function in that general regard. You can't see it from here. I can't tell if we have done it or not from here at this point in time in the video. Just know we are about to do a massive video. It took me hours and hours and hours and hours to just dig out, which is crazy, but we're working hard on it. And I don't know that I will be able to get the entire thing done for it, but we'll be able to show you a lot of freaking progress at the very least, and that will be very nice. It will be very, very nice. I also feel like I shouldn't delete video footage, because if I want to show like a gigantic time lapse, it's very difficult to do that whilst deleting some of the footage. What I have to do is take the YouTube videos that I have made, basically, and then collaborate all of them into one singular file so that we can actually make something kind of big. Maybe I'll do that. Take all of the videos we've actually made of this world and just combine it into one. It could be kind of cool. Not for like a 1,000-day special or anything like that, because we are just about at that mark, but just as like a fun little project, and maybe we do it at like a nice round number so that we can actually get people, new people into the series so that they don't have to start from square one, right? They can start from square 100 or, you know, whatever number we happen to choose for that. I think that would be a really fun thing to do, and also a real fun way to test my editing skills, which are not good, by the way, and are very self-taught. I want to preface this by saying that 100%. Because they are not good. I know they're not good, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but as I edit, I'm learning little tips and tricks and all of that stuff, and it seems to help us a little bit, but but I know I need to spend some more time and more patience in learning how to actually do the thing so that we can continue in a better way. So, what I've got on my mind today is people. I've found recently, more recently than not, that people will surprise you. I've for a long time had the most difficult time, and I still do, regressing sometimes in seeing the absolute best in people. But I've found that a couple things make the most sense with regards to them. They surprise you. That's the biggest thing that I've learned. People will surprise you. I would say there are, 7 billion-ish people in the world. Not on, well, I guess technically we are on the world. Anyway, there are about 7 billion people in the world. I would say, there's probably 1-ish% that are pieces of shit humans. Probably, a couple 100 million people, right? But the good news is they can't all be in one place. And I don't know if that's like a gross exaggeration or if it's somewhat true. I have no idea on whether or not it's true or whether or not it is a random guess that I am way, way off on. But I would say at least 1 million to potentially 100 million people do not start out as bad, but they probably get there through means of poverty or means of not being able to make money or poor life choices or drugs, alcohol, any number of things that it could be that lead you down, a bad path. But I still don't believe that everyone is just inherently bad, even with the number of crimes and thefts and murders and everything in the world. I don't fully believe that everyone in the world is bad. I think it is a huge nature versus nurture thing, and how you grew up, how you were raised, in your environment in which you were raised and grew up in definitely changes your perspective on things. And I feel like there was a movie back in like the 70s or 80s, I can't remember when it came out, Trading Places, though, that kind of showed that same mentality. Just one small change changed their lives for better or for worse in both of their cases. And I truly wonder if they are able to be not repaired, but like brought back into society as like an integral piece of if they can actually fit into society in the proper way. I myself, I don't like people to begin. I try my best not to associate with that many people. I try my best to, if I do have to associate with them, to try to put on my best face and try to be as kind as possible, just because that's how I would like to see the world. But I'm aware that that's not always how it goes. You can give, but you're not always going to get what you give, and that's important to know, and that's an important distinction as well. Because sometimes that's just not the case. That's not how it works and how it comes together, and we just do things like that because, I don't know, we want to see the best in others. We want to see the good and the bad, and we want to be in it together. So, in my journey of self-remediation, I guess, I am trying to see the brighter side. I'm trying to push out and see that through positive thinking and through changing my mindset on how I am doing things, if it's going to affect my depression at all. And I also want to see if it affects my worldview, which I can kind of resoundingly say, yes, it has. The way I have seen and see people lately is very different than the way I have seen people or seen people in the previous weeks, months, and years for sure. I don't really know if this is a placebo effect, but if it is, it makes sense to me and it just kind of works because we're able to achieve something that I wasn't able to achieve for many, many years. And I'm not saying it's going to be cured or anything like that because I don't think it ever can fully be cured, but I'm trying to change my mindset to reduce it as much as physically possible. That's the overall end goal. And I'm just kind of surprised. People do surprise you. There is so much kindness and so much depth to people that it's hard for me to kind of grasp. I'll give you an example here. When I'm driving to work, there are very few cars on the road because I go very early, 1 o'clock in the morning, very, very early, right? Very little cars on the road. And all of these cars have one thing in common. They're going somewhere, right? But when I am leaving around 1 p.m., I find that there are obviously a lot more cars, and understandably so. But it's hard for my brain to even grasp that all of these other cars are actual people and have their own lives going on and completely crazy events and crazy things that they got going on that I'd never know. But it's so weird to me to think as all of these cars and even seeing people in real life as real people, because it's so easy to be okay, and I'm gonna go a little conspiracy theories on you, but so easy to just say we definitely could be in a simulation. What if all of these people are just here to make it feel like you have something? I'm not going to go into any of that conspiracy theory, but it's a thought, right? And I genuinely curious because I have this all the time where I'm I see a large gathering of people and I'm this can't be real. This physically cannot be a actuality of all of these people exist in one space together. But I know, the science part of my brain knows that obviously these are real people. We are not living in a simulation kind of thing. And it's just so crazy to think of how your paths can intertwine and all of the idiosyncrasies that happen day-to-day life, such as, well, meeting someone. Do you know, the idea of how difficult it is to just meet a person in general? You have to have been going to the same place at the same time, correct? You both are off work or on a break, presumably. You both have got fuel into your car, got this into your head that this is where I'm going at this particular time. There's a lot of things in there that have just had to line up for you to cross paths with someone in particular. And that kind of blows my mind. But I kind of digress here. Sorry. People surprise you. That is one thing I have learned. Oh, hello, skeleton. I forgot you were there. Hello. Oh, he fell to his doom and demise. People want to be inherently good, I believe. Now, there are some in which that is obviously not the case, but I believe that they want to be good, they want to be better. Although some people are very content with living the life that they have and not pushing any boundaries, I feel like it is kind of an inherent need, a people-pleasing need, if you will, that makes this a reality, because I do believe people want to be better. in whatever way they are doing, whether it's their art, whether it's their writing, whether it's their leadership skills, whether it's their personableness, whether it's their kindness, whatever. I believe in some fashion every single person on the planet wants to get better, even the murderers. I want to do this better, right? It's a weird concept, but I believe that this is in fact a reality. I believe that people actually want to be better, and I'm trying to give people more of that benefit of the doubt in my day-to-day life. What I mean is, I just don't inherently assume that everyone's out to get me, that everyone is against me, and I'm trying my best to lower my guard a little bit more. Try to show a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy, and just all around a little bit more kindness, because I think it's contagious, and I know for a fact that it is, because I've seen the impact it can have. I've seen how a small and kind gesture can make someone's day, make someone smile, and then they are in a better mood or brighter for that particular moment, day, week, month, however long it seems to last, doesn't matter. But I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand, and I kind of want to be a part of that solution, is what I have started to think about here. I want to be a part of that solution and just making everyone more kind, more accessible, but not in the way of like you always have someone's attention via a phone, right? I want to just make the world better. Like, not just for me, but like, I don't really intend on having kids, most likely. But I would say you never really know what's going to happen. And for anyone's kids, I want to have them see a little bit brighter of a world. So I've been trying to do my part in just making myself think different, changing my mindset, and changing my view on the world, as well as the people inside of the world here. Because I think it is such a huge, huge difference. And if we can get everyone to start being in the same mannerisms, maybe, just maybe, we'll get a kind of paradigm shift that the world has never seen before, where we can actually just go back a few thousand years and just make it less conflict, less war, less greed, less corruption, less consumption, like across the board. I feel genuinely that's how it should be. And I know I most likely sound a bit of a hypocrite or a hippie, but there is such thing as changing your mind, changing your perspective, and you have the ability to change it whenever, wherever, and however you deem fit. And today, for me, at least, I'm just trying to look on the more positive side, especially whilst being a extremely pessimistic person. I just am trying to show a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy, and overall, a little bit more kindness. I'm sure it's not for everyone. I'm sure there's going to be many out there that are like, what the hell is this crazy man talking about? And I understand that's not for everyone. But I feel it's kind of up to me to do my part in this. And I'd kind of like to update you on how I'm going about that in real life, as well as like just showing you kindness examples and just showing you truly how to be better, just for yourself and not for anyone else, because that's the biggest and easiest way to make any kind of a lasting change, is not to do it for someone else. Do it for yourself. Do it for your future self. Do it for a better world. But in the end, you are doing it for yourself because it makes you feel better about the world that we live in. And it doesn't really affect or inhibit anyone else, but it has the potential and the upside to make them do things in a more kind way. So that is going to be it for me for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, ciao.